Hey YouTube, Kiraqualia here, bringing you all my Cardfight Vanguard market price watch video for August 2019. We had a lot of sets released since the last update to the market price watch videos, and I figured it was due for an update just to everything that's changed price-wise for a lot of Cardfight Vanguard cards in the standard and premium formats. The latest set being the My Glorious Justice set. We're going to go ahead and dive right in. The most expensive card in the set that I'm seeing is the Blue Supreme Dragon Glory Maelstrom. Now, this is a big hyped up card. Maelstrom getting more support in the My Glorious Justice set in the form of Glory Maelstrom. This is the only version I've seen for the XVR in this set. I believe we had 3 XVRs in the Heroic Evolution set, one for each of the Vanguard rares. I'm not sure if Kagero and I believe it's Die Rider also have an XVR, but this, price is insane just for one XVR. I think there's, a good trend just based on the ratio of this card, I'm guessing. It might have another art. I don't know if it has like the Leon print on it, like it did with the XVRs in the My Heroic Evolution, or if this is just much more difficult to pull than those ones, because those ones were expensive but not as crazy as this. So I guess we just have to wait and see when the actual official release date comes out, just to see what the ratio of this card is compared to an actual case of the set. Some other ones, more reasonable prices. We haven't even had the official release date for the set yet, but Glory Maelstrom, Die Liner, that's its name, and also Kagero, all showing pretty reasonable prices for the SVRs. Like I said, this is even before release, which is this Friday. So having these prices is pretty good. As more enter the market, you can expect to see these prices go down a little bit, but they are SVRs. They're a little more expensive and difficult to pull than the normal Vanguard rare. Is much prettier. People want these versions, obviously, for their decks as well. And Glory Maelstrom holding the most expensive price, just because, like I said, I think Aquaforce is one of the more hyped up of the decks to build of all the different ones in the set. Some other prices, as you can see, the SVR price for Glory Maelstrom was up there, but the actual Vanguard price for a lot of these cards for the Vanguard rare in this set, a little more reasonable, which I can understand. This is even before release date, so very, very nice to see something affordable. We saw this for the Heroic Evolution, which we'll get to a few of those cards later on as well. I believe Spinning Valiant is only $2 or around that price range, so much more affordable for people looking to build some of the newer decks with the newer support. You can see that trend once again, just like the SVRs, following for the other cards in this set, also having Die Liner, Kagero, and Maelstrom all below the $15 range. And like I said before, the actual release date. Last time saying it, obviously, for the video, these are the main cards I wanted to focus on for these sets. The triple rares and the double rares tend to always be below these prices, especially the double rares being a much more affordable price. And since we don't have any sentinels in this pack, it makes all the more difference for those values for those cards. Some other ones I wanted to look at, Dragonic Overlord the Great. I believe this card was at a high of $50 at one point. Now it is at the $35 range for the cheapest one, almost to $40. Now this one, quite insane. It really did affect the price for the other Vanguard rares in this set. They didn't even match up to the price of this card. I believe Brant is in the single digits price-wise. I think Beast Edie Azure Dragon is a close second to this card, value-wise, a little bit behind it, I would say, but Messianic Lord Blaster below 20. This one just definitely been keeping the king of Vanguard rare prices for sure. Just reaching this hype price for one of these cards is quite insane at that, especially. Some other ones going up in price, White Lily Musketeer Cecilia. I believe we are getting some more Neo Nectar support by the end of the year, so we're seeing some big hype prices for some of these cards. Incandescent Lion, Blonde Ezel. We're getting another version of Ezel in the upcoming pack. I don't think we're getting too many Gold Paladin cards in that pack, but still very, very nice support to add to the deck as a whole. So people holding on to their Blonde Ezels, other people getting rid of theirs, more people picking them up, wanting to build the decks. Same for other ones like Narukami. I don't know know if Tectonic's Drill, I believe we're getting some other support like Gauntlet Buster in the set, so more generic support. I know Tectonic's Drill is a very, very good card, especially, so more people picking up the Narukami support to work with that deck coming out. Maelstrom, this one was focused more on the fact that Glory Maelstrom coming out, so people wanting to pick up the deck, want to get the older versions of Maelstrom to use as support and backup for Glory Maelstrom, as well for the In the Soul Grade 3 effect. Picking these up, I believe it's been stuck at this price for a good while. There's like, see the $120 left, that just shoots up to $30, so it's definitely up there, more than it was originally before the set came out. Some other ones, Sable Dragonute. Now this is one that, for a more recent set is holding some pretty good value. A few other ones from Light of Salvation, Logic of Destruction I want to talk about later down the video, but this one especially, just being all the more staple for the Kagero deck and having 2 Kagero sets released back to back in the form of Light of Salvation, Logic of Destruction, and then the Heroic Evolution. So, like I said, we're about 2 sets behind for this. A little more difficult to find these packs, but if you still need the Sables, I'd pick them up now. I'd say they're just going to go up more and more. And if we get, some more Kagero support later on, just going to maybe go up more and more, unless it's a specific type of deck we're looking for, which I doubt it, since it doesn't seem to be the trend that Standard is following. Cosmetic Snowfall Shiryuki. I've talked about this card a couple times in my previous videos, but the price for this has just dropped. I believe it was at one point like $100 for the hype for the Shiryuki cards. That came out, but since died down, much more affordable if you're still looking to build Shiryuki for premium. More hype, I'd call it hype, more, investment for the upcoming sets, but Gigarex up there in price again. I don't know if we're getting engorged. I haven't really looked much into the Tachikaze decks coming up, if they're going to be engorged decks or not, but we'll have to wait and see. For this card as well, look at some more premium format support. Gridora receiving the strides in the latest premium collection set definitely did help for her value. People who still invest in premium, I really do like looking into premium. I'd say it's a definite fun format to get into, so a lot of these different decks that we added support to, Gridora including it, and a bunch of other Chronojet support to work with the Gear Chronicles stuff we received, all going up in price as well as of late for these cards. And needing a playset, if you're looking to get rid of a playset, this is a good chunk of money to add on to for this type of investment especially. Now, Dragonic Overlord, the end. I didn't actually think this card would reach this low of a price and remain there. Around the time when this card was out, the Great was actually, I think, past the $50 mark after this much time had gone past for this card. But this one especially hasn't really, increased at all. It's actually gone down and just settled in this $14 to $15 range of a card. So not bad. I like it for that. More affordable than the Great if you're looking to build something to complement Dragonic Overlord. I like the two together as well as a sort of back and forth, so if you have the Greats already from pulling them, and then if you're just looking to pick up Dragonic Overlord the ends, I'd say much better just to buy them than to invest in any box of the Heroic Evolution, because making your money back with that set currently, you'd have to pull like a high rarity card like an SVR or an XVR, and to hope at making your money back on the box alone. You can't do so much with the Vanguard rares in this set. There's just too much of a gamble with the set currently. A few other ones I wanted to look at. Skull Witch Domain, we are getting some Shadow Paladin support after the next main booster pack, so this card shot up in price, just being another staple card for the Shadow Paladin deck, along with a bunch of other cards, including Sharon, Maka, Phantom Blaster Dragon, all that, you name it. I like that some of the perfect cards remain more affordable. This is an SP version of MacLear, but the actual version, which we'll get to later down the video, are actually still in single digits, so no matter the hype, those ones are keeping some pretty good value. More premium support, Ichikishima, going back to what we talked about with Gridora, another big value card at that. Now this one I wanted to look at a little more. Maiden of Gladiolus. This was actually a trial deck card for Neonectar. Just another good investment for premium to pick up. This card's foil version, especially, there were a bunch of common versions which aren't going for much, but this one being a more difficult version with only one per trial deck and people looking to pick up hollow versions, I can see this trend happening to a lot of different trial deck cards, especially for that foil card to just raise in value. So another interesting one at that, for sure. White Outer Vect was another one from Light of Salvation, Logic of Destruction, that I didn't think would rise in price that quickly, but we're seeing, $11 for this, which is not bad at all. More value for the triple rares. I was glad that Sable Dragon wasn't the only money triple from that set, so a little bit of leeway if you end up not pulling the great from your box, but still, a good part of your value if you do pull it. Now this is a perfect card I wanted to talk about also, the Link Joker Flowers and Vacuum Cosmo Wreath. This one actually is quite insane on its value for the fact that it is in the $20 range for the double rare, and I blame this solely for the fact that we've had, back-to-back Link Joker support in the form of Deleters, then Brant, and then Messiahs, all needing the Sentinel, and there wasn't any gap for people to relist perfect guards with these. They were just on full demand for needing these perfect guards, whether someone wanted to buy Deleters or the next one wanted to buy Brant. There wasn't any break in between for people to get tired of the decks. There were just constant want and buy for building decks, meaning people need Cosmo Wreaths, and more difficult to get this card out since it came out in the first set with Link Joker and only had a reprint in the form of an SP in one of the later packs. So out of all the other different perfect guards, this is the one that's definitely seen some crazy value. You can see with all the support for Nova Grappler, with Aquaforce hype coming up, they haven't even reached any of the prices that Link Joker has reached, just because there's been breaks in between the support and not as big of a demand for people to need this perfect guard compared to those decks. But that is it for this episode of Price Market Watch. I wanted to thank you all for watching the video. I definitely do like looking at the different prices of everything that just pops up, different price. And I'll definitely want to look when the next set for Aerial Steed Liberation, I believe it's called, when we get more support, including different cards for Tsukiyomi, Gancelot for Royal Paladins. Definitely going to be a fun one to look at. But until then, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and Kiraqualia out.